Master, fellow Toastmasters, and most distinguished guests. I want to ask everybody to do an exercise with me. If you take a moment, close your eyes just for one brief moment. And I want you to think of something that was a challenge for you this week. Something that caused you maybe to make some adjustments in your life, or caused you to think differently than you normally would have. And I want you to just take a moment and take a deep breath as you're thinking about it. And blow it out. Close your eyes and let it go. Today I wanted to inform you about learning to let it go. Now, how many people by a show of hands have received a text today that said emergency alert for a flood warning? Now, even with that text, if you looked around this room, that this is the most people I've ever seen being an MSU Toastmaster today. So who would have anticipated the turnout when we had an emergency alert? But although the weather might say one thing, what's meant for us is going to be for us. And everybody's here for a purpose. Now, I asked this question too. By a show of hands, how many ever thought of doing something that they were passionate about, something that they had interest, but then they thought of 1,000,001 reasons why they couldn't do what they were pursuing or what they were passionate about? Now today, I'm going to keep it real simple. To learn to let it go, I'm going to use 3 P's. The first P will be personal thoughts. Now many of us have personal thoughts, and as I just asked the question, we think of things, we say that I want to be an international speaker. But we think of reasons why we can't do that. Nobody wants to hear me speak. Maybe I'm not loud enough. Maybe I can't speak with voice diction, and I can't compete with the best of them. I'm not a Les Brown. I'm not a Joel Osteen. I'm not a, whomever. But it's not about being someone else. It's about being you. And the world needs to hear your voice, because one of the wealthiest landmarks today is the graveyard. Why? Because many people died with bright ideas, they died with dreams that they never pursued because they put all their fears in front of them. Now many of us may have fears and might not be able to let them go completely. One of the ways that I was able to do that was through faith. Because through faith, and I know you've heard many speakers before me talking about spirituality. Now, there's no secret sauce, there's no secret remedy, it's just a moment, it's just faith. Because with faith I could do all things, through Christ that strengthens me. And I'm not sure if you're a spiritual person, but sometimes we got to believe in something that's more defined in ourselves to get to where we need to be. Because we think of things in our life, like I said, it's our thoughts, because what a man thinketh is what a man is. And if we think that we can or we think that we can't, we're right. So it's important to think like winners, because everybody here is destined for greatness. Sometimes we might not believe it right away, so it's important to be around the next people who can inspire us when we want to give up, people to push us outside of our comfort zone. Because sometimes it's the people that we need to cut or let go. People, when you come up with a bright idea, people tell you that's dumb. But why? Because they let their fears get the best of them, so they figured that since their shortcomings, they have shortcomings, that's your shortcoming. Now there's somebody in this room right now, and I would say everybody, because everybody was designed to do something great. Whether that's an invention, whether that's to be a speaker, to inspire someone, whether that's just to come in somebody's presence, just your aura. Some people call it swagger. To be able to inspire people. But again, we got to learn to let go. There's so many, we go into relationships, personal relationships, business relationships, and we walk into there with baggage. We can't get to the places that we need to be. Why? Because we got this big old bag over our shoulders holding us down. Now, I'm a victim of that, because when I say we got to learn to let go of people, now I don't know about you, but I am a mama's boy. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm telling you, it was so bad that I used to question every thought that I had, or every decision I should say, and I used to always ask my mother for clarification. Like, Mom, what do you think about this? If my mother didn't approve it, I didn't do it. But then it came to a point that I had to learn to grow. because, you know, as a young man to become an adult, you know, I had to learn to let my mother go. Now she's still my mother, I'm still a mama's boy, but it's not the same though. Because for one, when I get married one day, I know my wife, she's not going to be having, you know, coming second to my mother. I mean, ladies, agree or disagree? Right. So you got to start somewhere. So I told my mother, like, you know what? I got to go to the next level of my life, so I'm going to have to learn to let you go. You know, she wasn't happy about it, but, you know, that's one of the best decisions that I had to make. And the other P, you know, the first P, as I mentioned, was, you know, personal thoughts. The second P, like I said, is people. You know, making sure that we surround ourselves by the right people. The third P will be places. Now, a lot of us might deal with insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting what? Different results. Exactly. So we go to the same places. You know, we've been at the same job. You know, we've been hanging out in the same places, and we expecting something to just fall out of thin air and just hit us on our nugget and just change our lives. But in order to get different results, sometimes we got to do things we never done. What? To get things we never had. So that requires going to places. And it might be outside of our comfort zone, but I encourage you to let go of your comfort zone. Why? Because we all need to, what? Step out. That's right. And some of us say step out on faith. So I encourage everybody today, you know, and before I close, I encourage everybody today that think of something that you used to doing and try something different for the week. Just one thing. Start with one thing. You know, if you used to go home a certain route, try going a different route. You know, like I said, and if you used to call 3 or 4 people, try meeting somebody new, because you never know who got the key to open up opportunities to get you where you need to be. Now I got one last exercise before I close. Now I need everybody to stand up for this. And I want you, like we're going to pledge allegiance to the flag, I want you to put your right hand over your heart. And I want you to repeat after me. I, from this day forward, gonna make a change. In my life. Not to let any obstacle stop me from being who I was made to be, who I was created to be, because the world needs to hear a voice, needs to hear my voice. So I'm going to let everything go to try to hold me back. I salute you.